Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Daily Go Get 'Em show all up in your area, man. Yo, hump day Wednesday. All up in your area, man. All up in the house, all up in the place. We are good. Moving, steamrolling over here to Juneteenth. But we still represent the hump day Wednesday on June 18th. So, Geminis, y'all gotta watch out, man. Y'all losing, y'all fading out, you fading out. I mean, y'all good, but you're only good for a few more days. Rock out, twins. Rock out, twins. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, Daily Go Get 'Em show all up in your area. I said the daily, daily, the daily, the daily, the daily, the it's the Daily Go Get 'Em show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about brittle bones, sprains and cuts tonight. Burns, the way that you learn, you know when the pain comes, you can't play dumb. And when you get a little older, I don't want to introduce you to the world of the grandpops, but I can't stop without giving you a warning. If you keep on living, yo, I think you're dawning on a new age, and the age ain't Aquarius or even Pisces. It don't get nicey, yo. When you get a little older, you gotta be careful, cause if you don't, you break the bones and you really won't be healing in the 6 to 8 weeks that it's supposed to take. You're gonna have a back and a hip ache. And I don't wanna see you go there, baby. Listen to me, baby. How y'all feeling, man? It's the Daily Go Get 'Em show. All up in your area, you understand what I'm saying? And yo, We gotta have a little. We gotta have a little conversation tonight. We're gonna have a little conversation tonight. Now, I'm not excluding anybody from this show, but for all my 40 and ups, you gonna feel what I'm talking about. You might not feel it when you're 40, but all you gotta do is keep living, keep going, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. But this is a show for anybody tonight. This show is a show for anybody who has ever broken a bone or sprained something so bad that it was as bad as a break. Because you know, a sprain can be as bad as a break. And sometimes the residual effects that come from a broken bone, a cut, a burn, or whatever, you know, the x-rays and the MRIs and all of that may say that you all right. But your body be like, yo, we don't walk the same as we used to walk. We don't talk the same as we used to talk. Yo, speaking of which, how many of y'all know somebody who has lost their voice? How many of y'all know somebody who has lost their voice? A la Lil Wayne. Have you heard Lil Wayne talk lately, man? Have you heard Lil Wayne talk for the past 10 years? That motherfucker ain't got no voice. He be like, yeah, man, and you know, so you know, what, you know, the way it is now, you know, niggas is still riding for Trump, and you know, that's pretty much the way to go, because I'm from the know, yeah. And yeah, I mean, that motherfucker has no voice. He has no voice, and he is in his 40s. So Lil Wayne is old enough to be Grandpa Wayne, depending on how you swing it. Depending on how you swing it. So, and I only brought that up to show that sometimes it's not always a physical thing, unless you look at the voice as being physical. But sometimes you can lose certain things. You can lose faculties that don't have anything to do with your motor functions. Like I said, Lil Wayne ain't got no voice. Now, you take somebody like the DOC. The DOC lost his voice because he was in a bad accident and he fucked up his vocal cords. What's Lil Wayne fault? What, he took so many drugs that it took away his voice? That motherfucker got no voice. Let's get it popping, y'all. Let's go ahead. Let's move this show. Get it on the road the right way. We gonna blow it. We gonna blow it up. No Diddy. No Diddy. What's up, y'all? What's up? We good? Everybody good? Everybody good? Let me say what's up to some people. See if y'all behaving. Sometimes when people come in early, they start wilding. They start wailing. Okay, they start wailing. K-Cell, what's good? How you feel? He said, yo, what it do, son? What it do with you? Good to see you coming through, my dude. Without a doubt. What's that, Rex Boy? Says Congo music. Oh, you with that? That's what's up, man. And Deshaun Ramsey said, I fractured my ankle. Ooh. T Carey right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your sight. And she says, I broke my back, head, and had back surgery. Ugh. It's like when you mess up your back, does it ever heal? Do you ever get back to 100% when you break your, man, we got to talk. And let me see. Deshaun says, dang, how you do that? How I do what? What I do? What I do? Oh, TK Right says she was in a car accident. Dumb broad came to a complete stop on the highway. Oh, K-Cell says, doctor told me that I should just have back surgery, but I refused. I fell 3 stories back in 2002. My back ain't been right since. I'll bet it hasn't. God damn, man, I'm sorry you went through that. Let me take a seat. Let me take reading y'all responses. I gotta get stationary. Hold on, what we doing? What we doing? All right. Let me see. Damn, K-Cell says, over the years, I've become immune to the pain and I don't take painkillers. Wow. Deshaun says, I still have I still have my fractured right ankle. TK Ray says, I don't take painkillers either. Believe it or not, hot yoga changed my life. Shout out to holistic and naturopathic techniques. You don't want to drug yourself to death trying to get right. You know what I mean? You know what that leads to. Cheryl Halsey, what's good? What's good, my? Good to see me some you always, always, always. All right. Okay, let me turn up a little bit. Turn up a little bit. Really, I just wanted to, okay, we good. We good. All right, so that's what we talking about tonight, man. Broken bones, hearts, sprains, broken bones, broken hearts, sprains. A sprain can be as bad as a break. At least it'll feel that way. You ever sprain something so bad that you swore it was broke? Like, what's the use? What's the use in it not being broke if you can't walk, or you can't lift nothing, or it's hard to touch anything, or you can barely move? You sprain your back. Your back don't have to be broke. You ain't moving nowhere, and you're sure not going anywhere fast. You know what I mean? A snail may move slow, but you don't hear it screaming, ah, oh, You imagine that? A slug on the ground like, oh, shit. Oh, I'm feeling like somebody put some salt on me. Oh, the goddamn human kids. Don't put no salt in me. K-Cell says, I hate taking medication. I only take it if I absolutely have to. Salute to you. Salute to you. But yeah, you know, they say that it takes 6 to 8 weeks for a broken bone to heal. That's what they say. 6 to 8 weeks, and then a bone will heal. But they don't always talk about the residual effects of a broken bone. So it's just like on an X-ray, you'll see that the bone is healing the way it's supposed to. The doctors will let you see your X-rays, your MRIs, and all of that kind of stuff, and they'll let you see how well your recovery is coming along. 6 to 8 weeks, you're supposed to have healed bones, but your bones don't always heal in the same way that they were. They don't always restore themselves to pre-existing condition. You know what I mean? This ain't like erasing your hard drive on a telephone or on a cell phone or a computer. It may not go back to what it was before. Shit, even when some devices, even when you reset it to factory settings, it don't always act exactly the same. That battery might not be the same. The battery ain't the same, son. You know what I mean? The battery ain't the same. Beach roasted. Happy Juneteenth. Salute to that. Happy Juneteenth. Indeed. Indeed. Jack Smith says, Do you know the Shadow Man must stop Jack the Ripper and the Demon Legion from using the souls of the serial killers to trigger an apocalypse? Well, that was pretty deep. That was pretty deep. Now that we know that, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? I mean, all the great serial killers have passed on. The Ted Bundys, the John Wayne Gacy's, the Green, what was it? The Green Valley? No, something green up in I think in Washington State. Green something killer. There have been a lot. Dillard B, what's good? What's good, man? Thanks for coming through, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button when y'all come in, man. I need the likes. The channel need the likes. You know what I mean? The channel be like, I ain't getting no likes. I'm over here suffering. You putting out all this content. You ain't getting no likes. So please help me out. Help the channel out. I promise to deliver. I PRO to deliver. Deshaun says, I'm going to the doctor in a week. I'm walking right now, but in that week, the doctor is going to tell me when I can start physical therapy. Oh, damn. So I'm interested to know how old some of y'all are. You know, when I was younger, I suffered a lot of head trauma. It was like I was busting my head open all the time when I was a kid. For some reason, when it came to falling down, I always went down head first. I can't explain it, but that's the way it happened. Deshaun Ramsey said, "I'm 9." I can't with y'all. The nigga said, I'm 9. But yeah, the older you get, the longer it takes to heal. And it's not just a healing thing, because your bones may heal somewhere in that time frame, but the residual effects of whatever break, whatever cut, whatever tear, whatever burn may last longer. The last time I suffered a notable head injury was when I was 31. I got jumped by a bunch of dudes and they hit me with bats or 2x4, something wooden. I can't correctly identify it. It looked like 2x4s. If my memory serves me right, and it may not. But I also had a broken jaw. And that was the first time I've ever had a broken bone. So having a broken jaw meant that I had to get my jaw wired. So I couldn't open my mouth for 6 to 8 weeks. Now, luckily, I started healing pretty well, and I was able to get my jaw unwired in 6 weeks. Do you know how hard it was to chew anything, though? It was like, because those muscles in your mouth, your mandibular muscles have to build back up. They hadn't moved in over a month. It wasn't 8 weeks. It was more like 6 or 7 weeks when they unwired my shit. And yeah, but my head hurt for weeks after, and my head wasn't broken, but the headaches and those like sharp shooting pains, that shit went on for months. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about Muhammad Ali and other boxers that have suffered, head trauma over the years and do boxing and all of that. And I was always worried about when I got older, Was I going to be all right? So far, so good. So far, so good. But, you know, that's sort of like the luck of the draw. And I've had concussions before. So, TK Wright says, oh my God, one of my sons had his jaw wired, and he had to go on a liquid diet. Man, that's some rough shit. That's some rough shit. Because if you know when it's really rough? When you have all your teeth. Because nothing is going in there. So I went and bought a blender, and I'm blending all of my shit up, thinking that I can eat solid food as long as I blend it up. I was blending up all kinds of shit that ain't got no business being blended up. I'm going to Crown Fried Chicken and blending up like 4 chicken wings and some greens. And like, oh, yo, that shit wasn't going nowhere. I was getting nothing but the juice from out of that shit. And I lost. You want to lose 30 pounds in a month? You want to lose 30 pounds in a month? Get your jaw wired. Guarantee you will start all over. You will get to your original fighting weight. 30 pounds in a month. Easy. Dylan Calhoun says, I love your facial hair. I appreciate that. You know, a lot of people come on here and they tell me that my beard is fake. And I understand part of it because my beard is pretty much all gray. My mustache has a little salt and pepper in it. My eyebrows don't have any gray in it. Why? I don't know. I got nothing. And no other body parts. I don't have like dominant gray in any other body part. Like you see my arms, I don't have any. I have mad hair on my arms, but none of it is gray. So I don't know. I guess certain body parts ain't catch up. You know, certain things. My face is old, but I guess everything else is still kind of young. I guess. My man Buana Haguski was good. He said, not just for men, for son. I would never use that shit. I would never consider dyeing my shit or we not doing that. Miguel Haynes, what up? What up, Miguel? What's good? In West, my people's West, what's good, y'all? So we're talking about broken bones. Who has broken some bones? Who is above 40 years old? I say that the last time I broke a bone was when I was 31. But in 2016, when I was 45, I fucked up my wrist so bad. I believe that I broke it, but perhaps I sprained it bad as shit. I was doing a steps challenge. With a 20-something-year-old. Matter of fact, Shirley Sherrill, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world, her son, you know, he's an Army, you know, he's a Marine or whatever. That boy I'm talking about an Energizer bunny. He is the truth. That's G.I. Joe, literally. So he used to do our drills like it wasn't nothing. So I'm running with him doing the steps challenge. He's definitely beating me. But going up the steps, of course, no problems. Coming down the step, I slipped and fell. And of course, you know, when you fall, your tendency is to put your hands down to break your fall. You're not supposed to do that. I did that. Fucked my left wrist up bad. So I couldn't do push-ups. I couldn't do bench presses. I couldn't do none of that shit for months. Mad months. And even when it started to get stronger, I couldn't do push-ups this way, like with my palms on the ground. I had to like do them. Like it was funny because I could do them with my fingertips like this because my hand was still strong, but my wrist was fucked up. I believe I broke it. Maybe it was just a really, really, really bad sprain, but I think It hurt bad. And I was, I had it wrapped up. I was doing the ace bandage thing to stabilize it. I had the wrist thing, the thing. It's like a ace bandage glove, sort of. Yeah. I never went to the doctor because I didn't have no health insurance at the time. So still should have went, but and I was 45. Now, it felt like it took about a year for me to feel real confident in my wrist again. It took a year. So yeah. I also sprained my foot taking this was in 2022. In 2022, I was moving a treadmill, taking a treadmill down the steps by myself. I shouldn't have done that. The treadmill fell on me down the steps, and my steps are kind of steep. I don't know exactly what happened, but I know that my foot was fucked up. So I'm dropping my son off for his first semester in college up in New York. When I was hobble Flintstone, man. My shit was, and my foot was fucked up for a good while. Now I know that was just a sprain. That was definitely not a break. But I was in bad shape for mad months. I got better. That happened in August. I got better around February of the next year of 2023. So that's a little bit of my damage history. Varshay. Oh shit, Varshay, good looking. What have we here? What have we here? What have we here? Thanks for making it clear. What have we here? What have we here? What? Coming through with the super sticker, super chat. I appreciate everything, especially that you didn't have to give a penny or a quarter or a dime, but you came through. And I'm feeling like a crime has been committed on somebody that I don't like, and they gave the money to me, and it ain't funny. And I appreciate everything that you have done. You make doing the show every night fun. Yo, you are the one, a real one. I'm gonna say you the MVP, and I see anybody got something to say about you, they gonna have to come through me. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have to have a couple of words, and if they standing in front of my person, they gonna get rehearsing like we was rehearsing like match for the wrestling WWE OC. Yo, appreciate the dimes and the coin. I appreciate that shit. I say, you know how we play. Everything is gonna be all right tonight. Yo, I see my man Troy Diesel coming through. All right, yo, I just want to play a little song so I see what we doing while we going on. Yo, appreciate you. Mucho. Mason. What's it? Hold on. Let me get it right. Redacy? Or is it Redasel? Mason Redasel? I'm butchering your name, man. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Jeff Sprayberry, thanks for coming through. K-Cell says, I've broken toes, fingers, been set on fire, you name it. God damn. Set on fire? You all right? Yo, what we doing? All right. TK Wright says, I sprained my second toe, and the pain that it felt made me argue with the doctor about whether or not it was broken. Shit is real out here. Shit is real out here. Damn, KSL says TK. Back then when I broke my toe, the doctor said it was nothing he could do with a broken pinky toe. Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that. And you know, when you break a toe, that's as bad as breaking a foot. You ain't walking and you sure as hell ain't running. You getting your Kunta Kinte on. A broken toe or any type of foot injury. First of all, foot injuries make you mad. That's the problem with foot injuries. They make you mad because there's almost no foot injury, it seems, that wasn't preventable. Or is it just me? It seems like all foot injuries are a product of some dumb shit that happened. Shout out to everybody who ever stumped their toe on a what do you call the thing that holds up the bed, the bed frame? You ever stump your toe on a bed frame in the middle of the night? Or one of your kids' toys, you step on one of the motherfuckers and that can cause you to fall. You know what I mean? So all you was doing was going to the bathroom. You was going to go take a piss. That's all you was going to do. And what happens? You wind up with a foot injury and that shit be pulsating. Woom, woom, woom. Hot in the motherfucker too. You know what I mean? Foot injuries, they have your foot hot. It'd be like woom, 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 woom. Feel your pulse, your heart beating. You know what I'm saying? You mad. Don't want to look. When you fuck something up in the middle of the night and you tired, you know, you just try to go to bed and sleep that shit off. You wake up and you realize, oh, it wasn't a dream, huh? Got fucked up. Fucked up. My man Jihad. What's good, my peoples? Appreciate y'all, man. Oh my God, Jihad said those Legos hurt. Yes, they do. Legos build, but they also tear down, and people don't want to, you know what I mean? Legos haven't had that conversation. You build with Legos, but they don't tell you how much Legos tear down. Ruin things. Ruin. They will topple you. They will topple you. Yeah, man. A foot injury. And you know, you always have to consider that a foot injury or ankle injury, you're carrying your whole body weight on your lower extremities. So if your foot or your ankle is fucked up, you need to go sit down somewhere. There's a reason they tell you to elevate it. Because the more you try to walk on it, it gets worse and worse. As a matter of fact, it gets worser and worser. That's what it do. It get worser and worser. Oh shit, Jihad said that gout ain't no joke, son. Yo, you gotta change your diet, my dude. You gotta change your diet. That's the only thing that to get rid of that geezy. That geezy. Cause that gout, man, that shit, from what I understand, it make it feel like your foot is on fire. Your toe, that big toe, be feeling like it got a flame to it. Then you'll be looking at your shit like, what's going on? What the guan? What the guan on me toe, man? Me foot fucked up. The blood clot. Me blood clot foot. Me blood clot foot. Yeah, like that. Me blood clot foot, it fuck. Hey, what the fuck? What happened? What happened with your foot, man? What happened with your foot? You need to elevate it. Elevate your foot. Press up your foot. Press it up. Press it up. Push up your foot. Push up your foot on the pillow. Push up your foot on the pillow. Gee, I said you can't even put the sheets on it. That's what I heard. That's what, yo, that gout. Yeah, man. Lay off the spicy foods or whatever it is that you've been eating. You want to get that, you gotta get that gout out your life. TK Wright says you fall to the ground like you're trying to touch the hem of Jesus' garment. Oh shit. Jeff Springberry says my biscuits are burning. Woo! I said, woo! Jack Smith says supernatural beings, animal hybrids, or even humanoids with monstrous characteristics. What this means, Shadow Man, Jack Demon from using the Soul's Apocalypse. You wrote a lot there. Jack. Troy says gout takes you out. It's definitely going to sideline you. You will not be starting in the game with no gout. You will not be starting in no games. You will not be starting in no games with no gout. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. We having fun right now. Fun talking about our pain. Ain't that some shit? And that's funny. That's how it goes. Because pain is one of those things you could talk about all day. And even though I had people over 40 years old in mind when I'm talking about pain, there are a lot of people who got hurt when they were younger. And now, even though those injuries have so-called healed and whatever, you get in your 40s or whatever, you get in your 40s and over, those past pains be coming to holler at you like, yo, why are you still knocking and I already answered the door? I'm just letting you know that we still cousins. What you mean? We still cousins, nigga. Well, why we gotta be cousins? Because if I said I was your brother or your sister, when you got mad at me, you would probably try to say that we wasn't brothers or sisters no more. But nobody can get rid of a cousin. So I want you to know that we still cousins. And I'ma keep knocking like you ain't answering. I'ma keep ringing like you ain't answering. Like you ain't picking up. I'm coming to holler at you, holler at you. Holler at you, holler at you. Gotta understand the crime in the rhyme. Yo, I'ma holler at you about the pain one time. One time for your mind, two times for the pain. Yo, I can't do this shit. Gotta restrain. I'm trying to hold back, trying not to act black, cursing out of my mouth. Yo, it's going south. And I'm going out kind of like a war vet. Yeah, I'm a Green Beret. And I say, hey, yo, crime don't pay. And this Sprains don't pay. And that's coming to see me today. And it's act like I did something personal. And I'm not trying to get on this shit. I'm cursing at you. And I'm going to make sure that I drop the F-bombs. I'm going to do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I'm trying to get away from this pain. Tylenol ain't doing it. None of that my dog shit. I ain't doing none of this bullshit. Yo, this shit kind of hurts. Ah! I said, ah! I go Rambo. All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay. TK Wright says, have gout, teaspoon of turmeric and tart cherry, and a half cup of water. That's what's up. Let me see. Buana says, worst Jamaican accent ever. No, I can do worse. I can do way worse than that. Jihad says, it's 3 things that make a man cry. Toothache, gout, and child support. Okay. Shit, I cried at the pregnancy. Troy said, put some jerk chicken on it. You gonna make that gout a lot worse. Man, listen. That shit crazy. Rub some dirt on it, Jeff say. For real, take that mixture every day for 2 weeks a month. For 3 months, thank me later. That's what's up. Brandon Ruiz was good, cuz. What's up with you, man? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Said not trying to act black. Yo, there's a time to act black and there's a time not to. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got a code switch on them. But when you in pain, the nigga gonna come out. Fuck, man, I ain't trying this shit with bullshit. Yo, this shit fucking, yo, I'm talking to you, pussy. Hey, yo, man, this shit, yo. Somebody better do something about this motherfucker. I'm about to start beating people up just because I'm in pain. Yo, come here. I don't want to have to go back to my old self. I don't want to go back. Toothache. By the time you get a toothache, it's always too late. Because it ain't easy to get a quick dental appointment. Getting like dentists don't take walk-ins. You go to emergency room for a toothache, they ain't gonna do nothing but give you antibiotics and try to set you up with a dentist. Or if you go to like a hospital that has a university attached to it, they're gonna try to get you to the dental department if they have a dentist school. Like I live near Temple University. So Temple University Hospital is right around, it's a few blocks away from me, like 4 blocks. So if you go there for a toothache, first of all, don't even try to go to the dentist school for shit. Because they're going to tell you, we have an appointment that you can come in. Let's see, it's June now. They're going to tell you like somewhere like December. No, real shit. Like December. Because that's how they be booked. So you're going to go to the ER and the ER is going to hook you up with some antibiotics. And the antibiotics are going to kick in and you're going to feel better. And then you're going to think like, oh, I'm cool. It was just the infection that was giving me the toothache and I'm good. And then it's going to reignite itself. And then you're going to be fucked up. Joyce said December 2027. Close. It's bad. Bill Desmond says, what's the most confusing day in Detroit? Father's Day. Oh, man, here you go. Gino RPG says black, white, there's no race in Trump's America. Oh yeah? Then why, if there's no black or white in Trump's America, how come when he went to South Africa to rescue the white farmers and he kept saying that, and these are white people. The white people are suffering genocide in South Africa. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's a quote. And I said, anybody who thinks that Trump ain't racist, something is wrong. I mean, but what difference does it make whether he's a racist or not? Either you govern the right way or you don't. And he doesn't. So, I mean, but fuck that. He gives me a different kind of pain. I'm not talking about that bitch ass nigga tonight. All right. So when you start talking about pain over the age of 40, you're talking about some lingering shit that you may have to get familiar with. When you are over 40 years old, you really have to start being more careful. You have to start taking injuries more seriously. Even emotional injuries, you have to start taking more seriously. You know, because after you 40, you're not old, but you're not on your way up. And if you already haven't been taking good care of your body, that means that you're a late bloomer. It's not going to be easy for you to start a good health regimen. It's not going to be all that easy. You know what I mean? So if you're the type of person that didn't really walk anywhere, you didn't walk, you didn't run, you drive everywhere you go, like my mom. That's one of the problems that she has to this very day. She's 84 years old and she has mobility challenges. And that's because she drove everywhere she went. My mom didn't work out, she didn't run, she didn't walk. If she wanted something from the store around the corner, she would drive to the store. Or just wait until later on when she went to the supermarket and got whatever she wanted. So, you know, that shit catches up with you after a while because you're not building up any muscle tone, and that will start to kick you in the ass later on. You don't have any muscle tone, you don't have no muscle buildup, you don't really have the strength that you should probably have, but you may still have a lot of energy because you're not a sickly person. Well, once you injure yourself, then you find out where you are. So doing things like physical therapy is going to be grueling for you because you may be so used to things springing back springing back to their original form. Women should really be able to relate to this. Maybe when you had your first or second child, you know, your stomach's, pop right back in. You lost the weight, or maybe you didn't really gain a whole lot of weight when you was pregnant or whatever, but you was right back in the game. No tummy or whatever. And that's only a small percentage of women. But, and maybe when you had children when you were young, yeah, the skin, the muscles, everything popped right back as soon as you weren't pregnant anymore. Well, you probably didn't get pregnant in your 40s, but guess what? Now, there are a whole lot of women running around nowadays that got fat asses and big titties. And before then, they was like the truth, straight up and down. They ain't have no body, no ass, no titties, and all of that growing up. And even when they had children, later on, eating all of this high fructose corn syrup and all of this, all these carbohydrates and all of this GMO and all of this shit is designed to keep us sidelined for good, dependent and sugar addicted, and it's working. So that's where a lot of these accoutrements, a lot of these feminine decorations are coming from. It ain't coming from the good place. My brother Keith Tyler is in the house. What's good? So this can really come to a head when you suffer an injury. And you wonder like, yo, why am I not getting better? It could be an illness or breaking a bone or spraining something and you fucked up. Now, it's supposed to take you 6 to 8 weeks to get better or to heal from a broken bone. After 40, you might want to add on a couple of weeks. It might take you 10. It may take you longer. Residual effects. Okay. Oh, keeps.
You have a call from
Residual.
Yeah. Turn down your device. You got to turn it.
I got you.
Yeah. Did that.
Yes, sir.
What up, my dude? What's good?
Nah, man. Good morning, good night to you. How you feel?
Man, I'm feeling like a real man should. You know, I never feel no other kind of way.
For sure, for sure, for sure. But talking on that subject, what you talking, healing bones and walking everywhere and doing different things. What if you was born with a defect?
Okay, well then that means you started your pain. You started your pain early in life. Now
So what
what?
if you didn't know that you had a defect?
Okay, the bottom line is you started off early. So when you get, if you make it to getting older, is that's probably going to exacerbate the situation. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, let me run down my story to you before I had to really bounce up out of here. At the age of 35, they told me I had to have major, major, major heart surgery.
Okay.
And I went in, and there was a 50-50 chance of making it off the table. I had to put a heart valve in.
Mm.
So I begged my doctor, like, yo, I was working for this company. I needed one more year to get a pension. And I was like, man, you got to overlook that. And she was like, if she wasn't even having it. So when they sent me to the heart specialist, he came and asked me a question. It kind of messed my head up. He said, do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And I was like, well, ain't good and great the same thing? And he said, no, look up the dictionary. No, it's not. So I said, well, I guess I want to be great. So long story short, I had to have heart surgery. They told my people that there'd be 3 years of recovery coming from that. So, yo, when I tell you, I ain't really paying attention in health class because I never knew men had breastbones. When they say they had to crack that thing open, I was on surgery. I was on the table for 13 hours. They had to build me a valve to put in. I mean, it just went downhill from that. I had to learn how to walk again. But my smart ass was, I got smart with people. Like, I could walk again. Man, I ain't do nothing to my legs. And she came with that walker and sat her ass in that chair and was like, all right, get up. And I couldn't get up. So walk again, know how to do different things, like understand, like people, do say God give you a second chance and, to happen and make things happen and what you're doing. But also, I could look at it as a pain. I was 35. You know what I mean? I just got hired for sex. I was about to go drive a train. You know what I mean? And so stuff like happen like that, but getting up, walk aside and eating, doing the right thing. So when you go through stuff like that, it's the hardest thing in the world to recover. And when they put you on, like I'm on blood thinners, well, blood thinners don't go well with type 2 diabetes. What you can have to lower your blood sugars, you can't have because your Coumadin won't allow you to have too much vitamin K in there. And the vitamin K is in a lot of things. So you're in a battle fighting stage with a lot of history. But, I just wanted to be able to let you know, like sometimes you could be born with it to make it that far, the age of 35 to have a major surgery. And I was the youngest one on the floor. Mm-hmm. The youngest. So, do I think I got a short end of the deal? I did. You know what I mean? Like my dad, he died at the age of 54. In South Carolina, he went to tell him he could, and his heart was hurting and got up on the table and he passed away at the age. My mom died at the age of 52. 52. She had a stroke, a heart attack, and she had a stroke and a heart attack. So I'm trying to, I'll beat both of them and do the things that I need to do, and it's a lot. It's a lot to
That
come
is
back
a lot.
from.
So with your parents passing at a young age, did that make you more conscious of your health regimen, or did you just play by luck?
it made me more health. Like, yo, like my dad never seen 55. Like, am I gonna make it to 55? Like, what do I need to do to make things happen in my in my mindset? Am I getting myself doing? And like, to me, exercising, where my heart condition, it stopped me from doing a lot of different things. Like, just to walk from, just to say, from my house to B&O, it might take me like an hour and a half because I gotta stop. I gotta wait. I gotta let the valve calm down. I gotta get the breathing under what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, though, an average person can really just come and just walk by me like it ain't no problem. So, like, driving everywhere, no, I try not to. I try to walk in a couple of spots, and I try to do a couple of things. But you also gotta be careful. I can't be outside when it's over a certain amount of degrees outside. It's too hot. It's not enough air. You know what I mean? I'm still catching a heart attack, or a stroke or anything. So, it's like you're supposed to be housebound, like living in the house up under the air all the time.
Mm.
So, you touched on a subject. You know what I mean? I did break my collarbone before. You know what I mean? And that hurt it.
Did you break it or dislocate it?
Dislocated. No, they said broke, but dislocated. Okay, I dislocated.
No. Were you in a sling or a cast?
I was on a soft cast.
You have a call from
fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, it looked like a soft cast and everything on there. So, stuff like that. It just happens out there. But when I bumped into you, I was on recovery. The first time that I caught back up with you again, that was recovery I was doing. I had to find a way to make a couple of hours.
Yeah, I noticed that you had lost weight. So listen, man, that heart shit run on my mom's family like crazy. So I mean, so many of my people have had to deal with that heart shit. You can't fuck around. You know what I mean? At my uncle's funeral last year, you know what I mean? I went up to Milwaukee. I stood up in front. You know how they, have you? They give you a couple of minutes to come up and say something about the deceased. I told all my people, I said, man, y'all can't smoke. I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all can't smoke. None of us have survived cigarettes. None. Matter of fact, my uncle was lucky because he made it. I want to say, was he in his 60s? He might have been. Yeah, he was in his 60s. But by the luck of the draw, he smoked everything. Cigarettes, weed, crack, everything. You know what I mean? So he was skating on thin ice his whole life. So it was throat cancer that actually took him up out of here. But he was on his way to beating that. But we can't smoke and get away with it. So when I was and you don't even have to smoke in order to have lung, cardiovascular problem. You don't have to smoke. My mom didn't smoke, and she still got congestive heart failure. I think that was because of my stepdad, though. My stepdad was a smoker, so I think she caught the secondhand. And that secondhand smoke is more garbage than the smoke from the cigarette. Yeah, you know what I mean. So after she was sick all the time when he was alive. When he died, she started getting better. I was like, damn. He Jesus her. He died for her. He died so she could live.
Yeah. And it really, like, when I say, hold on. When I say that it really, like, make you look at a different.
You got company, son?
No, I'm sorry. That's my alarm to get up in the morning.
Oh, all right.
So Yeah, man, you just touched on the subject that I was just like, heart, bones, and what you call like,
Yeah.
like the first thing, they ask you, do you smoke? Like, no, I don't smoke. But and then you part of a club called Scissor Club. You know what that means?
Wait, say it again.
You part when you go in the hospital, they put you in this club called the Scissors Club.
Oh
You
no,
know what
no,
that means? So it's when you cut from top to bottom to your belly button. And you got this long scar. So that's how they know like you had heart surgery. Like the crazy part, if you stand close to me, I tick. All you hear is a valve open and close, and tick, 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 tick. Yes, I could stand next to a microwave. Yes, I could go to a metal detector. And what's it called? It's when it don't tick, then rush me to the hospital when you got the problem. You know what I mean? But when, coming out, when I came out, I'll tell you a funny story right quick. Them pain pills, man, listen, they ain't no joke. I came out the hospital. I went to go vote for Obama. I did. But they had to rush me back to the hospital because they didn't even know I was high as a kite. I was seeing people. I was hallucinating. I was seeing people. I was stuttering. I couldn't really talk. Even the hospital when I went back, they thought I was having a stroke. They put all the stuff up on me and and as the hours was coming down, they realized I was coming down. And one of the doctors was like, "He high." Well, if you give me the Dilaudid and you take the Dilaudid like you're supposed to, what the hell you think you're gonna be? So, on that subject, man, it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's just crazy how going here a minute, going the next second. You know what I mean? So you definitely got to be like careful, listening, and just doing different things and all. But yeah, you just touched on the subject tonight when you just put up there like that, man. Is when you lose it all.
Yeah, I know it must have been. It must have really touched you. You ain't never called into this show and been serious. Never ever. I'm like, what the hell? You all right? You need me to come? You need me to come through? Yeah, I mean, you good?
No, yeah, I'm definitely good. I mean, you touch it. Every now and then you might touch the subject. So you know what I mean. As my people used to say, you my brother. We've been friends. Homies, ever since we reconnected again, for my people, listen to them. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure y'all share the show with people. It's made as for real. I see you got your other homie waiting to cut in on you. Let me say what's up with him, and then I'm out of here.
All right,
what's going on, my man? I just want to let you know, prayers and blessings to you, man. Thank God he pulled you through your journey, man. You know what I mean? Thank God for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. But yeah, I got to jump off here. I'm on my way to DC today, so.
DC, for love of your trip.
All right, man, be careful.
You know what I'm going for. I'm going to see Taco Man. That motherfucker look like a taco.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right,
Breathe
man.
easy.
Peace. Be careful.
Yeah. Later.
All right, Troy. Before you speak, Troy, I gotta handle something. Bill Desmet in the comments seems to think that secondhand smoke is not as bad as than smoke from the cigarette. Well, no, secondhand smoke is way worse than cigarette smoke from the cigarette smoker, because the cigarette smoker is used to the shit. Like the first time you smoke a cigarette, it feels like somebody punched you in the chest. I don't know how y'all motherfuckers got past that shit. All that coughing and shit. That shit hurts. But I guess y'all wanted to be cool so bad that y'all fought through it. But the person who does not smoke, the smoke that comes after you have exhaled, that's all carbon dioxide. That's the trash smoke. That's worse than the shit. At least tobacco and nicotine has some nutrients in it, but not the shit that you blew out of your lungs. So I looked it up. Is secondhand smoke worse than cigarette smoke? Yes. It says yes. Secondhand smoke is considered worse for health than firsthand smoke in some ways. The reason why secondhand smoke is worse: higher concentration of toxins. Secondhand smoke contains higher concentrations of harmful chemicals such as nicotine, tar, and carbon monoxide than firsthand smoke. Unfiltered smoke. Secondhand smoke is unfiltered, meaning it contains all the harmful substances in the cigarette without any removal. Lower temperature. The smoke from secondhand cigarettes is cooler than firsthand smoke, which allows the toxins to linger in the air for longer periods. Exposure to multiple. Listen, just look it up. You can Google just like I did. Matter of fact, read it like that. That way you can see it, even though it's upside down. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. You know what I mean? Look, what I don't do is talk shit on this show. I don't give a fuck what y'all think I know or whatever. You're not going to challenge me on anything I say on this show because I only talk about shit that I know about. I don't explore no new topics on this show. Only shit that I already know. So y'all might be able to add on with new information, but if I say it, then it was right. Now, okay, I might have goofed 5, 10, maybe 15% of the times, but it is rare and few between. You know what I mean? I've looked dumb before, so I try not to do it. Health risks of secondhand smoke: lung cancer, heart disease, stroke, respiratory problems like asthma and bronchitis, sudden infant death syndrome, ear infections. And that's for the non-smoker. So I just wanted to get that out of there. It's all good. Cheryl Halsey says, my mother passed from CHF. She stopped smoking for 40 years prior. Damn. 40 years and you yeah, man. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that shit is real. And you know, and there's a strange phenomenon going on out here these days, and it's very concerning to me. These old heads in their 70s, 80s, getting cancer. I'm like, cancer now? Like they couldn't get that shit in their 30s, 40s, at least 50s, even 60s. You, like my dad, wait until you get in your 80s. He might have had it when he was in the 70s. But still, something just don't seem right. That's why I don't trust this government now, man. That's why I don't trust this government, you know, as far as before, you didn't see, like, old heads used to die of old age. You know what I mean? I mean, if they could be unlucky enough to like die in a car accident or some shit like that. But now cancer, you getting cancer, you in your 80s already? This how we going out? Nah, something just it's happening too often, and something just don't seem right. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. What up, Troy? What's good, man? What's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on to everybody? What's going on, brother? You know, I already know how you feeling. I already know what's going on with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know. And I must commend you on your Penn State education, because you've been using some rather big words tonight. You know, I was like, okay, let me look this one up before I get on here. I said, yes, he has you can tell he has his bachelor. He got his stuff. But The first time I broke something, I broke my pinky and the finger next to the ring finger next to my pinky when I punched my cousin in the head after playing basketball on Easter Sunday.
That's one.
And that's just a break. Everything else is.
I was about to get my count on.
Let me get ready to let go of my hip along right now. Okay, now let's see. I've never broke bones, but let me see. One was a bullet shot. I got shot at 19 times. The first bullet hit me in the ankle, so I had to run. And because due to the fact I had tied my boot up tight, the circulation was once I was able to run. So that chipped the bone. That chipped my the bottom of my tibia, right? Then after that, first I tore ligaments in the same ankle at work. Then they had to go back in and get the scar tissue. That's on the right ankle. Then the left ankle, I was working at a restaurant. I stepped in the floor drain that wasn't screwed in. Tore every ligament and knocked the cartilage out of the talar dome. That's the dome that holds the bones to your leg, to your ankle. So I had to wait for a cadaver to meet my blood type, and they had to put new cartilage in. So I got plates and screws in my left ankle still. They got to come out. Then I was working at a job where my chef didn't prepare anything for me because he was so much jealous. I had a banquet of 325. Slipped in a walking box, hit my elbow up against the frame of the walking box, chipped the bone in my elbow and knocked the ulnar nerve out. The nerve that goes from your pinky and the ring finger all the way up to your shoulder. So they had to put that back in place with the kick bone right there. I had to wait for the bone to heal for them to go back in there. And I just recently, tore my meniscus at work, going into the kitchen, dropping some pots off, slipped, didn't fall. Thought I, tweaked my knee. Thought I was going to be able to work on it until I realized I was a big guy and that thing was bone on bone and I was walking around like a bitch. When I'm telling you, when you tear your meniscus, and I don't even want to get emotional on the phone because I got a condition called bitch assness. And my bitch assness came out immediately when the thing got on bone. And that's not even counting concussion. I was working at a job. I was putting on a banquet for, 750 Masons. Turned around. They had a pillar in the middle of the kitchen with two 2x4s hanging out to hold up a phone. Turned around real quick, hit my head on the 2x4. Seen everything. When I'm talking about lions and tigers and bears. I've seen every fucking thing. So that's my work history.
Well, shoot, I was just talking about your pain history. You know what I'm saying? So
my pain. Listen, bro. I tell you from the door. When I wake up, it don't take me a lot. It takes me at least a half hour, 45 minutes for everything to fall in order. I'm the original. I'm the 2025 version of Operation the Game.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah.
So do you notice any difference between when you were younger and you broke bones or sprained or got hurt?
It heals quicker.
When you're younger.
When you're younger, that thing. Matter of fact, when you're younger, you really don't focus on that shit. You keep it moving, especially if you having fun.
Facts.
Especially when you having fun.
Yeah.
I never forgot. I was being chased by some bulls. We was playing around. I was being chased by these bulls. I hit my head on a stop sign pole, and I had a hickey. I had you would have thought that my mom had twins, and the twin was growing outside my head because that's how big that shit was. My mom was just like every other mom. Take some Robitussin and you be all right.
Okay.
But little did she know, I had a concussion. I didn't know what a concussion was until I got older and had a concussion.
Oh yeah, I had many concussions before I found out what a concussion was. The first time I realized I had a concussion is I went up to Penn State. I went up to Penn State before I went up to main campus, and I went up there for homecoming. And we went ice skating. We got up there on a Friday night, and that Friday night, I went ice skating, and a girl that I knew she didn't know how to skate.
You went ice skating?
Oh yeah, I ice skate. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I definitely ice skate. I ice skate and I rollerblade.
Well,
so
we need you on the flyers.
No, I don't ice skate like that. The motherfucker's different. But anyway, so the girl couldn't skate, so she was holding on to the back of me. I was sort of like towing her around the rink. Well, she slipped, pulled me back, and I fell, banged my head on the damn ice. I immediately got the chills. A concussion feel like you just got the flu out of nowhere.
Yes, you can feel it all in your sinuses and everything.
Yo, the next day I'm throwing up. I'm fucked up. I didn't know it was a concussion. I was like, damn, I fucked around and got the flu. But how about my head ringing? It's ringing like the fucking Liberty Bell. Like I realized how come that's...
You hit your head on the ice and say you fucked around and got the flu.
Yo, I mean, you got to think when you got a concussion, you're not in your right mind.
No, you're not.
So I'm not even thinking about like you don't think that maybe this head injury could have caused all of this? I'm like, no, it was just a head injury. You know what I mean? That had nothing to do with this cold. I was all my boys, because we went up there like 6 deep. So all my boys, they running around, we got friends up there and shit. They running around, they drinking. I'm like, listen, I need somewhere to fucking sleep. They ain't had nowhere to sleep.
You're not even supposed to go to sleep after that.
Listen. This is the next day. So I don't even, my man, his girl who went to the branch campus that we went to, she let me sleep in her room. I was like, Helena, listen, I'm sick. I'm fucked. I can't run with them. They going to parties and shit like that. I'm not partying. I said, I just need somewhere. She was like, she said, oh, just go in my room, lay down, chill, whatever. Because it's homecoming, it's parties all over the place. You know what I mean? Shit is all crazy. But when we was about to go home, I started feeling better instantly. You know what I mean? So that shows you how soon I could recover from a full on concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't think it would happen like that now. And I've definitely had concussions since then. But that was the worst one.
I'm gonna tell you something. And then it's not even the fact that I had a concussion. I had a second concussion behind that, and I wasn't even doing nothing wrong. I was just walking down the street. And while I'm walking down the street, I'm crossing over to cross the street. And don't you know them bicycle signs that got the sandbags on it?
Mm-hmm.
One of them, it was a little small nor'easter. So they only had one sandbag on it. So as I'm walking down the street, I just crossed the street, and all of a sudden, the damn side just bust me in the fucking back of the head. This boy was on a bike. He's like, shit, you all right? He called the ambulance immediately. I was like, God damn. So I think my whole life is like Final Destination, bro. Like,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to call it paranoia, nothing like that, but I've always been very conscious about my health. You know what I'm saying? I've been a hypochondriac all my life. And it ain't getting better. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit out here. Now, I've never allowed it to stop me from living my life. But you have to consider your mortality is a real thing these days. I mean, you 55, I'm 54, I'll be 55 in August. Shit, this shit ain't sweet like that. I done buried a lot of my peers. Shit, Generation X, we strong,
Like
we ain't invincible.
You just lost your best friend. Was it a year or so?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
May 15th. May 15th, yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. So, you know, but you know, when you start thinking about these daily aches and pains, these little like, listen, I've been doing squats and I've been running in place and shit like that. And you don't really realize the value of that shit until you start doing it again. You know what I mean? Like the value of getting some cardio in. But when you first started doing that shit hard as a motherfucker. I first started doing squats. Shit, I was hearing all kinds of. I was like, you know how they say you walking on eggshells? That's what it literally. Yo, it said it felt like my shit had hinges, and it needed some WD-40 on them shits. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Sound like the tank at the Trump parade.
Hey yo. So that was when I started doing squats. When I started running in place, I forgot that I did the running in place. The next day, my calves is burning. I got these fucking shin splits. I'm like, what the fuck? Why my calves hurt? I forgot. Damn, that little 10-minute running in place. And by the way, listen, man, you know, for those of y'all who can't get to the gym or whatever, yo, take your phone, put that shit on a stopwatch timer, watch your shows, listen to a few songs. If you listen to 5 songs, that'll be like 20 minutes or at the very least 15 minutes, because you got to think 5 songs at 3 minutes apiece. That's 15 minutes. But if you make it through that, you know, just running in place, trust me, man, that shit is going to give you a good cardio workout. You're going to blow a lot of that shit out of your lungs and all of that. And, you know, we dealing with this pollen that's in the air and all of that shit. You got to blow that shit out. Just like when you got an old car that you've been doing nothing but city driving, you got to take that shit out in the country, out in the county, out in the highway and blow some of that shit out. Like get some of the gas out of the fuel injectors and, you know what I mean, clean some of the fuel injectors and all of that shit. You got to do the same thing with your body. So if you like me running around here wheezing and shit and having to use the inhaler and you gotta drop the allergy pills and all that shit. And I ain't have to do this shit in my life. I've never been diagnosed with no asthma. I don't got it. But when the allergies kick in, when it start to get overcast and shit like that, my shit reacts different. It didn't do that when I was in my 30s. It started doing it in my 40s, and I didn't know. I've had allergies all my life, but they didn't fuck with me like that. So it lets you know that your body, and allergies are a direct response from your immune system. Now, when I say immune system, I don't mean that you got like HIV or something like that and you can't fight off things, but your immune system is struggling to fight off things, maybe new things, maybe existing things, as well as it used to. So you have to become more conscious. But you got to get your exercise on, man. You got to get some exercise. If you don't, you're going to be on a steady decline. You got to do something so you can get in an upward trajectory. And you don't have to go buy a membership to Planet Fitness or LA Fitness and all that, or Gold's Gym. You can do it if you want to. But if you really don't have the time or you really don't want to spend the effort or whatever, you can get it in. You can get it in right in the crib. I got weights in the basement. I got weights in my room. I got, but calisthenics, do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks, run in place. Trust me, that shit will get you where you need to be. At least you'll be in better shape than you were before. And it's a funny thing when we start talking about this diet and exercise thing. I ain't even start talking about the diet shit yet. But when it comes to the exercise thing, I've never known anybody who exercised and didn't feel better. But I've also never known anybody that kept doing it. Everybody who starts exercising always talking about how much better they feel, and you know what I mean. This is great, and they can't believe it's been so long since they did it, and everybody finds an excuse to stop doing it again. I don't get it. When you think about it, it don't make no fucking sense.
Because people look for instant results, and when they don't see the instant results, they just get discouraged.
It's not even that. It's not that, Troy. It's not, because like I said, the people told me that they felt better. They didn't tell me that they looked better. They said that they felt better. But see, once life starts lifing, then all right, well, yeah. First of all, at the beginning of the year, whatever, people start biting off more than they can chew. How is it that you weren't doing any exercise before, but now you talking about you going to exercise every day or every other day? Why? How? You ain't been doing that. That ain't you. Why don't you put yourself on a reasonable schedule? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Because maybe you drink or smoke or get high on the weekends. So you got to give yourself the weekends to do it. You know, don't tell yourself that I'm going to do it every day of the week, or I'm going to do it a little bit or whatever. You're going to rationalize yourself right out of it, because once you break that routine, then it gets longer and longer since you've done it. And now you've totally broken it. So you got to give yourself just like you have to set realistic goals, you have to also set a realistic schedule. Do the exercise that you like. Stop trying to do all of the shit that other people do, or the things that people have told you are good for you. Do the shit that you like until you stop liking it, and then do something else, and then find something else that you like and do it. At least you're doing something. Stop getting on that scale every fucking day. I'm talking to the ladies, because y'all will get on that scale every motherfucking day, trying to step on the edge of that shit. Like, oh, look, I'm winning. Like, you cheating. You fucking cheating. You know what I mean? And you don't have to do that. You don't even have to do all of that. But give yourself a realistic schedule, set realistic goals and realistic expectations, and then you can actually start to get something. And that way you can stop becoming demoralized and all of that kind of shit. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. But yeah, like I said, people stop exercising because they be like, well, you know, my work schedule changed, or, you know, I had to do this with the kids and blah, 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 blah. And I started getting behind, and now, hey, I am, I done blew up 20, 30 pounds. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that, because you have exercises right there. You know, instead of driving everywhere, walk somewhere. Walk around the block a few times. Explore your neighborhoods. Trust me, you're going to see houses in your own neighborhood that you ain't even see before. Like, yo, how long this been here? Did they just build this park? Park been there 50 years. You know what I mean? You know, real shit. Plus, your body is going to respond to the oxygen that you're getting. You know, the outside air really is better for you. So, you know, I'm gonna get off that soapbox, but like, I'm not going to give you nothing really hard to do unless I work out with you, because, you know, we got to push each other. But from here, it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. But you have to recognize that something beats nothing any day. You know, it's just like saving money. You know how some people feel like they can't save money because they feel like they got to save a lot of money at one time, every time, instead of at least saving a little bit and building, because money you save, if you actually save it and stop sponging off of it, guess what? It grows. That's all it do. It grows. And that's whether you have it in a savings account or whether you stick it under your mattress. It'll be there when you really, really need it. But you got to stop really, really needing it all the time, or telling yourself that you really, really need it all the time. That's the same way with exercise.
Sacrifice.
You gotta. What's that? What's the They had the Showtime rotisserie back in the day. Set it and forget it. That's basically what you have to do with your savings, and that's basically what you have to do as far.
You really telling your age, bro.
Shit, I'm proud to be here. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of shit could have took me the fuck out, but yeah. So I mean, that's the same way that you got to stop making excuses for not saving money. is the same way that you have to stop making excuses for not exercising. You ain't got to do a whole lot. Do something. Shit, my dad wasn't no workout dude, but he always had a nice body. He would do shit like, even when he drove, he would grab the steering wheel and try to pull it apart or try to crush it. Hey, that motherfucker could arm wrestle his ass off. It was crazy. But something was better than nothing. And he walked a lot. And he rode a bike up until he was like damn near 80 years old.
Cheryl said, Omar, what you say, you starting classes again? I heard that.
Man, listen, the only reason we stopped them classes because niggas don't appreciate nothing free. If you make motherfuckers overpay for shit, then they'll come out. If you give it to them for free, they think it ain't worth shit. We got the worst mentality of any people I've ever. I love my black people, but we are fucked up.
Yes, we are.
For fucking 3 years. And Cheryl can attest to this shit. Matter of fact, from 2015 to 2018, we exercised out in the park for free. Then we got ourselves a facility, and we still didn't charge nobody. And we had and we went on a monthly hike every last Saturday of the month in the park. It was the flyest shit, the dopest shit. I bought water.
On the hike because we repping things.
Listen, that shit was the dopest shit. Everybody who ever came on a hike, they got a hell of a workout and they really enjoyed that shit. But they wouldn't do it consistently. Now, I'm not going to say that they didn't do it consistently because it was free. But it's not a coincidence that the only people who did it consistently was Cheryl, Monica, sometimes I'm just going to go with the people who did it consistently. Cheryl, Monica, Annette, Mary Derry, Cheryl, her sons, she would bring them and all that. It was a few people who did it consistently, but you know what I mean? That black girls run shit. They charge and motherfuckers would be going to that shit by the hundreds. Here we are giving you a hell of an experience for free. I was supplying water and all of this shit with my broke ass at the time. And lunch. I was letting them eat my watermelon, my grapes and pineapples and shit. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And that was free. I said, all right, you know what? The only way I'll do it again is motherfuckers gonna have to come and get me and make me be the leader again. I ain't gonna be begging motherfuckers for my services and shit. Yeah, fuck out of here. I'm out here giving back to the black community, trying to strengthen them and make them more healthy. And look at us now. On the brink of death. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I'm talking and putting that knowledge out there. I'm just reading everyone aside. This one bull tried to slide in an acronym. Tried to slide an acronym talking about SYBAU. And I caught on to it. And then T. Gary Wright so I caught on to it too. So, and I just caught another one talking about you look like a boy here looking like acting like he a chief. So I just had to put something out there. I said, yeah, he is a chief. Chief, bang your mom.
I mean, listen, man, haters gonna hate, bitch ass niggas gonna talk.
You know, I like you to focus on what you can focus on while we tear up the troll.
Listen, man. I mean, listen. You know they don't get no pussy. Here we are talking about exercise. You can get exercise by just fucking harder, but you're not gonna get no exercises jerking off harder, and that's what these motherfuckers are doing. They don't get no ass. Some of them, I think, are trying to get some ass, or be entered in their ass. So I mean, what can you do? You know what I mean? You know, like, listen, I understand. I understand that they don't understand. You know, they done tripped and fell by this chair. It is 3 o'clock, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. They like, what the fuck is going on here? Why, you know, the old head talking? Why everybody listen to them? You know what I mean? Let me go tear that shit down. Niggas was here before you got here, dog. They gonna be here tomorrow too. Stop through. Oh, bitch ass nigga. But listen, I mean, one day you'll have your own shit too. You just gotta practice. Just gotta practice. So, man, I ain't worried about this shit. But like I said, you know, these aches and pains, breaking bones and shit, cuts, scrapes. Yo, you ever had
what do you think is worse? Do you think ligament tears is worse than a broken bone?
Oh man, it can be a ligament tear or a tendon. Yo, man, you know, if somebody sliced your ligaments across your hand is done for life. You can't repair that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they like the pulleys and shit. These are like the wires. Somebody take a strong blade and rake it across your shit, and if they cut through your ligaments, your hand is done. You limp wristed for, you know what I mean? You ain't doing none of this. You never play again, and you wasn't even in the mob. But so I can't say that is, well, listen, I mean, bones will heal as long as you didn't crush them to the point where they can't be reconstructed. But you know, ligaments, you fuck up a ligament, that's it. That's it. So I'm going to go with ligaments for the long-term damage. Plus, you're going to be in stupid pain. Plus, you're going to be in stupid perpetual pain for the rest of your life.
Because a bone can heal.
Yeah, man. Yo, this boy said, what's that, small liquor bottles around your neck? Yo, that's crazy. I ain't even mad at that shit. Small liquor bottles. Wouldn't that be something? Tune in tomorrow. So anyway, but yeah, you know, let me see. Troy, what's your most recent injury?
The ligament, torn meniscus, I gotta get surgery on.
No, I mean your most recent injury. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you had a hangnail. I mean your most recent injury.
Oh shit! You talking about my side?
Okay.
My side.
Okay.
I didn't even do that. I woke up to that shit. And I didn't. You know, like I said, I'm releasing my HIPAA law. I'm releasing my HIPAA law. I woke up that shit. I'd have been in the hospital. I've been to 2 separate hospitals because I don't trust hospitals no more. You know, and they still don't know what's going on. I'm scheduled for an MRI. I'm still going through this pain. I already I told my lawyer about it. I said, if anything happens to me, just rest assured you won't have to take care of this case for my family. Because I don't trust. Listen, son, I'm going to tell you a story, man. We're going to go real quick. Years ago, I was working at the Wharton School, right? While I was working there, my chest was hurting real bad. So I turned back around, and my chef called the ambulance. Wasn't that far to go, so they came pick me up. They took me to Hub. I'm in Hub. I'm telling them my chest hurting. So they keep me in the observation unit. They turn back around and they like, damn, what the fuck going on? You know, I woke up the next morning, this arrogant ass nurse practitioner. Well, it must be musculoskeletal. I'm saying, listen, my chest is still hurting. My chest is still hurting. You can't say, like, listen, well, we haven't found any emergence. I said, okay. So I turned back around, right? And after I turned back around after that, and I had to take the twins to the hospital. The next day, that Saturday, they released me. That Sunday, me and my wife had to take our twins to the hospital. This is back in 2012.
Okay.
And we took them to CHOP. My chest still hurting so bad. This is the same day Hurricane Sandy hit. I couldn't deal with the pain. So they sent me, I went right back to the hospital, hurricane and all. I'm in there, they trying to send me home again. I start bawling. I'm like, yo, y'all can't send me home in this pain, man. They were switching shifts. This doctor came in, he's like, well, I won't do another test. I think I know what it is. Don't you know I have blood clots on my lungs?
Man, that shit ain't no joke. Blood clots on your lungs.
You have to be
that's the Reaper.
Your own advocate, man. So I don't trust when doctors say they don't see nothing. But they sit back and they say that's not the first time that shit happened. It happened before. There's another one that's personal that I don't want to talk about. But that shit happened before, man. And I'm like, no, man, you know, it's just bullshit, man. I mean, so I don't trust any hospital. So when I get the pains and they say don't see shit, I go right back. If the pain's still there, and right now it's still there, but I'm like, you know what? I went to them. They did all these tests, you know. And then I got a primary care appointment next week, and then I got an MRI appointment next week. So I'm just gonna deal with all that way and find out what's going on, you know.
Okay. Well, damn. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Mercy Fitzgerald twice and Huck twice. You know what I mean? And both times they kept me in the hospital. One time they kept me in the hospital. Mercy Fitzgerald is like murder misery quarter, murder misery down in West Philly.
No, it's better than that.
No, man, no.
It is.
Well, they so overwhelmed now because Crozier closed down.
Now that you might be right about that. Yeah.
So since Crozier closed down, it's not that good. It's so piled up that they just coming in, and when people coming in, they trying to get them in and get them out because they're not used to that overabundance of people.
Yeah.
So now I said, you know what? I'd rather go to the city. So my son, he picked me up. He took me down there. And when I need to go again, he came and got me again and took me down there. So I mean, you just gotta be your own biggest advocate, man. You can't sit back in the hospital. You go to the hospital and they tell you, well, they don't find anything. You need to sit back and be your own biggest advocate. You have to advocate for yourself. Don't sit back and because they're ready to release you and be like, no. Okay, yeah, I'm ready to go home anyway because you feel a little better. Because when you least suspect, you know how many people they were so happy to say that that there's nothing wrong, and they still didn't feel better, and then they got home and didn't wake up the next morning because they were so happy to just get ready to get out the hospital because they've been there all day. No, man. No, you have to be your biggest advocate. Broken bones, broken this, broken that, sprained this, torn ligament. That's things that you got to take care outpatient. But that other stuff, something that got to do with your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, your gallbladder, and all that, your appendix, all that shit, man, you got to get your ass to the hospital.
Yeah.
So you just got to advocate for yourself. I don't care. That Keystone first, I'm going to work that Keystone first. I'm from Canada. My health care is free, even if you do send me a bill.
Yeah, well, hey, listen. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to survive out here. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
I would rather be alive and in debt than dead, and your family probably still won't have to pay that shit off. It depends on how you work it. But anyway, your health is as important as anything else in this world. You know what I mean? The reason I asked about your most recent injuries is because, at any stage in your life, you can injure yourself in any kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you. If you wake up in pain and you haven't actually been in any kind of accident, can you consider that to be an injury?
Well, let me see. I don't consider it to be an injury, but I consider it to be a health issue because, when you have underlying health issues, Like I'm diabetic and I have high blood pressure. It's not to the extreme because it's taken care of. I make sure I take my meds and shit, right?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, when you wake up and you do have those aches and pains in parts of the body where you know that medicine is supposed to be helping it out, you know, and that other injury, that I did have one more injury when I got in a fight with somebody and I whooped his ass and he snuck up behind me and I got stabbed up. I had 150 stitches. And he got a half inch away from my liver. So they never really gave me a CAT scan of that, or did they go and give me they didn't give me a CAT scan of that or MRI of that when I got sliced on my right side. You know, and I'm asking the doctors, I'm like, do you think that's scar tissue? But I'm also asking them, what's going on with my liver? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? And then they said, well, we see you got this, what they say, you got a small cyst right there on your liver. I'm like, well, that might be, well, that's nothing to worry about. I said, can you do me a favor? When y'all tell me I've got something going on in my body, don't tell me there's nothing to worry about. Because if it's not supposed to be there, then it's something to worry about. That small cyst could be what's adding to the pain on the right side of my body.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep talking about, well, what an average person might not feel, I might feel. I'm 55. You know what I'm saying? You don't know, and you don't even have a small cyst on your liver, so you don't know how that feels for somebody to have a small cyst on the side of their body. So don't do that. Don't just blow that shit off to the side. Well, that can't be it. It's a small cyst.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
no, I was just asking about the injury thing because I was wondering if you can be injured without actually being in an accident or suffering any damage. And
so you can damn sure you can wake up awkwardly, you can sleep in a way where as though, like, I already know from the door, son, I got a torn labrum. I got a torn labrum in my shoulder, and I was told this years ago. And I don't want to get no surgery on that because I know I was already told how bad what that surgery means. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? And it's on my right shoulder, and I need that. I need that for my livelihood. So
yeah. All right.
yeah,
Let's do this.
You can wake up, or you can sit down awkwardly, or you can get up. If you hypothetically say you pushing to get up, you can strain your back. When you get older, everything, the things that you used to do when you was younger, you think that you took for granted. You can't take that for granted no more. Pushing up off the sofa awkwardly, using your hand to push up. When you got your fist balled up, you can fucking fuck your wrist up. All of a sudden, you're like, damn, why my fucking wrist hurting? You ever wake up in the morning, you be like, damn, this shit wasn't hurting yesterday. You know what I mean? Everything, man. I mean, that shit is just, you wake up in the morning, man, damn, why my chest hurting? Why my side hurting? You be like, well, that shit gonna go away. That shit gonna go away. That's what I did with the meniscus tear. I tweaked it at work because I slipped on some water. And I was like, that shit gonna go away. Man, listen, bro. That's crazy.
Let me see. I'm just putting some basic injuries in the chat that we may not think about every day. But these are very painful things that will fuck you up. Let's see, let's see. Let's say a torn rotator cuff, appendicitis, a kidney infection, or a stone.
Oh shit! Damn, I had one. I didn't even have a major stone. I had a small stone.
It don't take a lot. That shit will fuck you up.
Oh,
Fuck
boy.
you up.
Oh my God, man. I sound like Kramer from off of Seinfeld when he had a kidney stone. I yell like a bitch, boy.
How about a hernia? You ever have a hernia?
Oh, they told like you bring up shit that they just told me. It was like, well, Mr. McNeil, you have small hernias around your navel and in your groin area. There's nothing to worry about, though. It's not to worry about. Then why you telling me? Why are you telling me? Why? Just in case it gets. You got a little cyst in your brain. Don't even worry about it. You can still think. What the fuck is wrong with these doctors, man? You trying to make me? You gonna worry me to death? What the fuck? They say some of the most stupidest shit.
Hold on.
When a gay guy coming in, he said, oh, you got a little gerbil in your ass, so don't worry about it. Ain't nothing. You just go to bed and get that out. What the fuck? You say some of the most asinine shit. Don't say it. If it's nothing to worry about, don't tell me. Because I won't worry about it. You won't worry about it. And that's the thing about it. A lot of people don't understand that when people don't know, they might be hurting in a place. But when people find out that they have cancer or they have something, the worryation and the stress alone adds to that. The worryation and the stress that's like, for instance, I know my niece and my nephew grandmother, she had just got a new kidney from her son. And her son was a neighborhood pharmacist. And she was always worried about him when he went out the door and was always stressed out about him. Her body rejected that because of the stress. And he must didn't understand that because maybe a month and a half to 2 months later, she passed away. Nicest lady in the world. But see, you don't understand that stress and stress and all that worryation adds to your sickness. Stress can create sicknesses.
Oh, hell yeah! It not only can it create it, but it can make it impossible to heal from it.
Yes. You know what I mean? That's why people need to go to therapy to get to relieve stress. People need to go to, whether it's biblical counseling, regular therapy, or you got a neutral person you talk to. There's nothing wrong with that because you got to get that out your system. Once you hold that in your system, it can create so much damage what's inside of you. I'm not a doctor, but I just know this. I've read up on it. I've seen other people go through it. I've seen people that they found out they had cancer, and 3 months later, they passed. So I mean, my mom, she had to make, my wife, well, the woman formerly known as my wife, her grandmother had dementia for almost 8 years. Sweet lady, right? My mom had the beginning stages of dementia for 6 months and passed away. Other than the stupidity and the dunceness of the people that was the family members, the so-called family members, and my older brother that's supposed to have been doing the due diligence with his daughter, she passed away within that amount of time because my mom was one of those people, like, she worries a lot about other people. She was a giver. She would give the skin off her body if it meant that the next person would be able to be okay. But that stress of worrying about her grandkids, worrying about her kids, worrying about herself, you can't really get through all that. And plus, when you talk about gout, she had arthritic gout. So I can understand that. I can understand, man. I can't imagine. I can't imagine, bro. And yeah, you just have to. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, 6ABC said that they have a different strand of COVID-19 out right now.
Mm.
I told you the only way Trump would get back to get ahead would be what? Another pandemic.
Another pandemic. Well,
Another pandemic,
you see what
bro.
he did to the
I
first
told you
one.
that shit.
You see what he did with the first one.
Yeah, hey, I hope, I guarantee you listen to the doctors now, but no, and I'll be like Charlie Murphy talking about Rick James, no, he talk about that, he talk. That motherfucker ain't gonna listen to nobody. He ain't gonna listen to shit. But like I said, you just gotta make sure whatever bracket of age, if everybody in here is in their younger years, in their 20s, their 30s, and you just running around, and you having a ball and something hurt, go get that checked out either way, because when you get older, that shit gonna affect you.
Well, pain is an indicator, is an obvious indicator that something is wrong. Like, you don't have pain for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it may not be something serious, but there's something going on. Pain is your body's autonomic alarm system to let you know, like, yo, we need this is your check engine light. Yo, something is going on. You know what I mean?
Way of putting it.
Hey,
that's the way of putting it.
You know, let somebody put a diagnostic on that thing, see what's going on. Because there's something.
Straight up. Shit. And like I told you, this is not a diagnosed condition, but I have a condition called bitch assness. You know, and I tell them, they ask me, when the doctors ask me what I'm allergic to, I tell them pain. From the fucking door. And then they ask me what type of medicine. That's the stupid question, doc. Well, what type of pain medicine y'all want me to give you? You want me, you need. Why the fuck you asking me that? What's our pain? So now you make me feel like I'm an addict. If I tell you, give me the Percocet 10s, you gonna say, why does motherfucker know about Percocet 10s? Percocet, pop a Percocet and roll through my body. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? You give me the medicine that you feel as though I need for the pain. If I'm telling you I'm in pain, that's your decision. You give me Tylenol, give me Tylenol. And if I tell you it's still hurt, then you move it up. What do they normally give you? Now listen, doctor. Hello?
Yeah.
And then it takes me out, because you go from going in there for one issue, and then all of a sudden they ask you what else is wrong with you. You say, I got a pain in the ass. You say, they see where they came from. But from you motherfuckers asking dumb questions. Well, what you need for that? Give me fucking preparation needs. Like, y'all pain in the ass right now. You know. You humble yourself and you chill and you relax, and the longest, it's not even the pain that you go through. What's your pain threshold, son?
My pain threshold, I can take a lot of pain. An awful lot. It's almost scary. But I'd rather not. But yeah, it's been proven over the years that I can take a lot. So on a scale of 1 to 10, my pain threshold is probably somewhere between 8 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I could take a lot of pain.
Well, you're strong. You're a strong Indian chief, as the guy said. Me, no, I'm Sako. What's her name? Sako G and Sako, whatever her name it is. I forgot the name of that girl. The one, I don't know. She's on the coin. Sako Jawia. Yeah, what? I'm her. I'm a real bitch. And the first sign of recovery is admitting that you're a bitch.
Well, I mean, look, man, like
only time I ignore pain. The only time I ignore pain, and you know the only time I ignore pain. Well, 2 times. You ignore pain when you can ignore pain when you get intimate. When you screwing, you don't even give a fuck about pain. You screw in a hospital bed. You couldn't.
I don't know. Like, just because I can take pain don't mean that I don't moan and groan or complain about pain. You know what I mean? It just means that.
No, I'm just saying you moan and groan, but it's not overbearing. You know what I mean?
I've been put in some situations where my pain threshold has been tested, so I know I can take a lot of pain.
And then it was.
But then again, like how can you ever?
I put these knuckles up. I ignore pain for that too.
Here's the thing: how do you know what somebody else physically feels? You can't be inside their body to know whether you feel pain differently than they do. You know, there's no way you can ever really know that. You know what I'm saying? So you might have a higher pain threshold than a lot of people simply because you've been through more or different painful situations than other people have been through. So they wouldn't even know. Like when women say that women say often that they have a higher threshold for pain because they have babies. And I'm like, well, yeah, a man doesn't know the pain that a woman has with giving birth or experiencing pregnancy over 9 months or whatever. But that's also a pain that a woman could never express to a man. And it's obvious that every woman doesn't experience the same type of pain of pregnancy than some. I've known women who have delivered their own babies. I knew this one woman lived on my block. White chick, had the baby in the middle of the night, cut the umbilical cord, cleaned the baby off, went back to bed, took the baby to the hospital in the morning. She's like, I'm too tired to go to the hospital. I think this was like a third child.
Had to ask the birth in her.
Yo, she squatted, caught the baby. They helped her cut the cord, clean the baby up, went to bed. Like, all right, yeah, we got it. All right, she finally came. I'm like, we ain't going to the hospital tonight. Took the baby to the hospital the next morning. So
that's a Lifetime movie you just said.
Listen, I'm just saying, some women experience, excruciating pain. You hear the stories. Oh yeah, 23 hours of labor. A man will never know what that feels like, but a man may know some other pain that a woman may never feel. Like men who have gone off the war and maybe got their limbs blown off. I'm thinking that probably would be equal to pregnancy, somewhere up there.
Type of pain, that's a pain that you can't ignore because some nerve endings is still there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you get the limb blown off, or even when people who had.
Well, see, the thing is, even though you may not
get a leg amputated or foot amputated, because of diabetes, it's still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but when you lose a limb or something like that, it may cut out the nerves then. But once you get treated, that pain coming back. That's why they gotta dope you up quick, because that shit is gonna be unbearable. You could go into shock over that shit. You know what I mean? So, let's see. Jihad says a man wouldn't be able to take contractions, son. I mean, how would we know? I just don't know. You know what I mean? Listen, them soldiers that have been hurt in war and all of that kind of shit, all kinds of shit that they've been through. I don't know if that's comparable to contractions or whatever.
I know one thing. I know I could take it because even let's say if the person gets the bubble guts, then that's thing.
Yo, man, you have a real bad case of the bubble guts. That should have you rethinking your whole life. Like, oh my God.
So imagine having 6 pounds, 5 ounces in you.
But I don't think that it's the same pain. I ain't never all the women I know that have had bubble guts, they said that it ain't like that's not what pregnancy feel like. So we have to disqualify that. But I know having a bad case of bubble guts is all I know is you be sweating. You know what I mean? You hurt like a motherfucker. Yeah. Like, oh shit. And then after it's all said and done, you pissed because you figure on all that shit you shit out, you should be 10 pounds lighter and you're not.
You go and try to pain so you couldn't sit about 5 weeks ago. You like, I'm not this motherfucker. I lost 10 pounds on this.
So unfortunately, it don't work that way.
It don't work like that way at all, bro.
All right, man. Well, listen, we overtime. We gotta get on up out of here.
Look, man, I'm glad I called you. It was good.
Yeah, we had some fun tonight. We had some fun.
One thing about it, I'm just gonna say this to the live stream for everybody who's lost family members. I'll keep y'all in my prayers, and I'm also gonna keep y'all in my prayers about health. Make sure y'all take care of yourself. You know, just take care of yourself and make sure everything is okay with y'all. Be your own advocate. Just don't go to the hospital as soon as they say something that you're okay. You rush out with pain because you can't wait to get home. Make sure you stay in that hospital if you're still hurting out. Mm-hmm. Don't leave that hospital until they give you an answer. Because as soon as they do all them tests, doesn't mean you're okay. They got some other shit they got to do.
TK says pregnancy.
I'm telling y'all this not because this is a live stream. I'm telling y'all this out of love and respect for the live stream and for the people I've come in contact with. So
that's what's up.
Have a good morning. Be safe in your travels.
All right.
All right, love you, bro.
All right, love you too, man. Have a good one.
All right.
All right, TK said it's like having a urinary tract infection and a sprained lower back at the same time. I've had both. I don't know, a urinary tract infection for a man, that shit is crazy. That shit, I thought it was appendicitis. I thought I was gonna die. Shit. That shit crazy. Okay, all right, I got you. Okay. Okay, let's look at the results of the poll. 43 votes. Have you ever broken a bone or suffered a sprain as bad as a break before? If so, which bone? All right. So 56% of, well, now 55% out of 44 votes, arm, leg, hand, or foot. So that's what the lion's share of people have broken or sprained in their lives. All right. Hip and ribs, only 11%. Shoulder, rotator cuff, back, 25%. Neck, head, jaw, nose, only 9%. Okay. It is what it is. We're going to do these birthday shout outs. Before I do the birthday shout outs, I want to do this, though. I want to thank all of y'all for coming through and just being interested in this topic tonight. I didn't really think, I didn't know that so many people was hurting, literally. Make sure y'all hit the like button, though, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming through. And I appreciate y'all, yapping it up with me tonight. I had fun tonight, and I needed to have fun tonight. So this is a good look. We're gonna do these birthday shout outs, and then I'm gonna let y'all good people get on to y'all either go ahead and jump in the shower and go to work, or get in that bed and go to sleep. All right, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious June 18th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. V. Muhammad, happy birthday to you. And also my man Harold Cohen McCann. Happy birthday to you, young boy. only turning 46 years old today. Still young, still in his prime. And also, Sherelle Mitchell, happy birthday to you. And Motia Clark, happy birthday. And Jay Perkins, Shamika Steele, Andrea Christman, and last but not least, Wendy Hare. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious June 18th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, go hard, go for yours, and remember, when the pain comes down, you're ready to lay down. Yo, sit down, do something you ain't around. The good feelings that you used to have, but you can't get them again. And still win. Everything has a beginning and end, and the end ain't starting now, so just calm down. Everything is going to work out fine, but first you got to go through this thing, and it's a hard time. And I've been there, probably going to be there once more. I woke up this morning feeling a little sore, and I got to not let my mental go crazy and think that I'm going on some shit. Maybe I won't make it till the next day, but I gotta come down, settle down, and hey, put things in a proper perspective. Eat a little better. Yeah, try some exercise. Yeah, you ain't gotta do a lot. Start off a little bit. Just make a little hit. Yeah, do some push-ups, some calisthenics. Yeah, if you do that shit, you said it and you meant it. Bend it like a pretzel. You stretch a little bit. Yo, get your skin a little flow. Blood flow is very important. Get it to your heart. Yo, get checks up every year and start taking better care of yourself. Your health is wealth. I mean, I don't want to see you poor. No, not no more. There was a time when I was beating my body down, young as shit. Yeah, drinking them 40s down and smoking a little weed. Yeah, not giving a fuck. I knew one day I was going to run out of luck. And I did, but I never got real sick. And that's a hell of a blessing. I ain't trying to be messing up my life and going out. I got a child, I got children, and I'm trying to be here with them, building, just like a 5%er. I'm out this motherfucker, and I'm going to be in a category that you don't think is crazy. I just try to be out here energetic, not lazy. 8 to 80. Yeah, I'm trying to make it to 80. My dad died at 84. I'm trying to live a little more. But even if I make it only to 75, I'm going to do that shit to death. And I will survive. I'm here right now. I'm feeling kind of good. Want to get rid of my tummy and make a little money, a little more. Yeah, that make me feel better. But it always make me feel better when my peoples win. And I see them winning every day because they haven't given up and they really know how to play. So what you say? Are you on board? Are you trying to get where the real gifts of life are stored? And I ain't talking about the heaven above. I'm talking about right here on earth where you're needing the love. And the love is something that you need to spread. You make sure you do that shit before you lay it closed eyes dead. When your body gets stiff and your soul lifts up, but you was here first. So don't make it worse. It ain't nothing good when you're always feeling sick and you be feeling like, why this the life that I had to pick? Yo, you can always do better. Start the day. Everything starts at 1. I'm 7'5" and yeah, 7'5". This is what we're going to do. Tomorrow, we're going to start doing better. That's me and you. If you need a little help, I'm going to provide it. And if you need to go inside of this cocoon, get inside it and treat that shit like a vacation. Yo, get away from all of the crazy shit and all frustrations. You don't like your job, we'll find another one. Go to school, get some skills and learn to pay your bills. and keep all of that debt out of your life, because that shit don't do nothing but cause a bunch of stress and strife. And I ain't trying to feel that shit like I used to do. So I got my money straight right now. What's up with you? Let's win together. Let's make sure we win the Super Bowl next year. Yeah, the Eagles are winning clear. You think they did it in 2024? They're going to do it in 2025 again, because they is live. Because they strive in 1, 2 rings ain't enough, and it ain't enough for me, so we going to really see. All right, let me get the fucking line. Yo, peace. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. So make sure, make sure, Jihad said put gout in your rhyme. Yo, he got the gout, had a hell of a hot foot. That shit was crazy. Felt like the nigga put his foot inside of a fire and lit it up just like a flame. Shit hurt so bad, motherfucker couldn't remember his name. Hey, yo, Mr. Jihad, what's your last name? I don't remember none of that shit. All I'm feeling is pain, and I wanted to go away like my last girl did. What the fuck is going on here? I'm about to Earl, kid. Yo, my foot is hot, and it really hurts a lot. I feel like somebody took off my nose and blew the snot right down into my foot area, and every time I think about that shit, it gets scarier. Okay. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Y'all was a little light on likes tonight, and it's not right. It's not right. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'm going to get with y'all later, man. Holla back. Peace.